Hi, it's Charlie giving you Monday's market commentary. I hope you're well. We'll pretty much go straight into the commentary this week. Just to follow up from Friday's trading, obviously I was in those positions on Friday. The pound has come good on those positions, and I have actually banked out. And so, yeah, I've closed out for just over £1,400 or $2,400 there. Still in the gold trade, still got position on that. Um, and I've closed out on that because you can quite often you get to a point where actually I've been closing out in this zone as we've been coming down here, and we started to diverge. So I've started to eke out, and I'm out completely out now because I'm looking for a bounce to then reposition to then get short again to try and take advantage of that. And it looks like that downside push has been done. Hopefully I'm right on that, and then we're going to maybe have a bounce into tomorrow, and then I can then start to look to reposition for maybe later on in the week. That's how I'm going to look at it. But the thing is, if you remember, on the pound on Friday, I took a just over a £400 loss on the pound on Friday, but as you can see today, I've banked £1,400 on that. But I had a dollar yen small loss on the dollar yen on Friday as well, so I think it totaled about just over £500. But that was on the two trades. So two trades, £500, one trade, £1,400. And so, yeah, good risk to reward or good reward on that trade relative to the position size. Look at that! It's still going. There's me. I thought this was rounding off. So, and this is the one thing is that sometimes you can try and be clever, like I've tried to do here today, and exit. And actually, sometimes you're just better off just holding on because I've exited, hoping that I'm going to get that bounce to then play it cute to then reposition and get another load off. But if it doesn't, then I miss out on that fun of it. But the thing is, once you're into a position of a good risk reward, it doesn't really matter too much because the risk reward was so good on that trade at that point anyway. So a good run overall. Right, okay. So let's go and actually have a look at well, let's have a look at the daily charts of the pound. So I'm still looking for sort of that 166 zone or just above 166, but the way that it's looking, the pound, and I was doing some analysis on this, I can see 165 as a potential as well, and then potentially down to 164. Now this is weird because I know that I'm ultimately looking for 170, but that pattern is still in play, and it's a monthly pattern, so that could still take some time to play out. So when you're looking at a daily chart, just because you're looking at a monthly, it's could still take some time. So, and I think that because of the uncertainties in obviously Ukraine and the likes, I think that's what's affecting these currencies against the dollar. So until that sorts itself out, then we've got to be looking for potential weakness, although the euro has held up quite well today. So yeah, I do see some more potential downside. I mean, cable's already just flushed another 10 pips just whilst I'm talking here, so it looks like it's probably going to do that 166 today, but I can't get too upset about that. It's been a good run. So, but whatever, it looks like I will still be looking for further shorts as we go through the week on the pound. It looks like that's going to be the case. As always, I'm sure it won't make it easy, but that's what the game plan on the pound. And let's have a look at the euro dollar as well, because the euro dollar's held up quite well. It's been a lot stronger overall. My overall analysis on the euro dollar has been for a long time to run to 140. It's holding up quite well at the moment. So if this just congests and consolidates, then that could be a very good sign for the next push to 140. But again, I can see the potential for the euro to come down if it wants to. It's more than allowed to drop. And then it'll still come back up again because I'm looking at a monthly chart on that pattern for that 140 to 145 fixture. Then I still think that this could dip if it wanted to, come all the way down to 136 if it really wanted to get going. So at the moment, I'm sort of keeping a very open mind as to which way we are going to go with a couple of these currencies. Well, certainly with the likes of the euro. I think the pound looks a little bit more obvious at the moment. That's why I traded it obviously on Friday. So that's the euro dollar. So we've got to just watch it if it consolidates. If it starts to push and start breaking above the highs of last week again, so above the 139.20 handle, whatever it was, the highs there, then all bets are off, and we should be heading up to 140. in the first instance. Let's have a look at the stock market indices. Let's have a look at the S&P. Held up again on Friday, but lots of indecision candles there. So let's have a quick look at the let's have a quick look at the futures off screen. They're still holding up, so still nothing too much going on there. So all the time, I've said it many times now, all the time we keep going, staying up here, then the trend remains our friend. So but there are some indecision candles, but nothing else to really too much to write home about at the moment. 1900 is obviously a target, being a round number level, but not really too much more to say about that. Let's have one last look at the dollar yen. Now the dollar yen was the one that I pretty much got wrong again on Friday. There was a small position where, if you remember, I was looking for a rollover. It's held up so far, but again with the dollar yen, the trend is moving up quite nicely at the moment. Intraday basis should be on the long side, but I've still got to be a bit wary because we've got this like a seller bar over here, and so until we can break above that, then we'll just see what's going to happen here. So I don't have too much of a view on the dollar yen right now because of what it's done. I'll basically just trade whatever it does. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Rather than having more of a swing view on it at the moment, I'll just sort of take it for whatever it does. So if it carries on going up, then I'll be looking on the long side. Just track what the momentum's doing. Right, I shall leave that with you and have a good week. Back on Friday for live trading.